This is Tom Meyer, Superintendent, Bellevue Community School District, coming to you with an edition of Believe in the Blue. Information from Monday night's board meeting. Just a few things I wanted to pass on real quick. One thing of note that probably everyone is wondering a little bit is how about weather and what is going on with makeup days and things like that. Can I predict when the last day of school is? No. Can I predict what the future holds between now and May 1st? I would assume no snow after May 1st. It has happened before. But I can tell you this. We are making up 3 school days during the year and days we have scheduled off at this time. One of those days is going to be on Monday, February 18th. That is President's Day. Another day is going to be Monday, March 18th, which is the Monday after parent-teacher conferences and the day that we have Friday off for parent-teacher conferences. And then also we're going to be making up one day on Monday, April 22nd. That is the Monday after Easter, and many people recognize that on their calendar. So those are 3 dates we're going to do. I would also plan right now, our last day of school was initially scheduled to be May 29th. It is now undecided yet, but we would finish out that week with Thursday and Friday, May 30th and 31st. And that will put us somewhere in the range of being close to finish. We may need to extend that out into June. Without these makeup days and going the full days that we had assigned at the start of the year, we would currently be looking at Wednesday, June 12th. I cannot say 100% we will not go to Wednesday, June 12th. Well, actually, I can right now. I feel confident saying we will not go to Wednesday, June 12th. With the 3 makeup days we have right now, the longest we would go would be Friday, June 7th. I do not anticipate that being the last date as well. I think we will finish earlier than that. Right now we are minus 5.5 hours in what minus 3.5 hours in what we need to have in roughly. But we will be making up some of those obviously with the 3 days I talked about before. So I think our school board did not set a final date based on the upcoming weather and what's going on in the next few weeks. I know they would like to finish in May. I'm not sure if we can make that happen or not, but that is our goal at this time, and we will see where we're at in a few weeks again. But do know that we have school on Monday, February 18th, Monday, March 18th, and Monday, April 22nd at this time. That was one thing that was talked about at the meeting. Some more positive things. Even though we don't have school day, we will have a girls basketball regional contest sanctioned by the state. Was canceled from last night or postponed last night to tonight. We really need to have that based on scheduling for the state basketball tournaments and things like that. So that will happen. We play at 7 o'clock tonight at home against Dyersville Beckman. If we would win that game tonight, we would play Friday night at Beckman against a team to be determined that way. If we would win that, we would play the following Monday, which would be President's Day, February 18th. We are having school, and we would play at Dubuque Senior against a team to be determined that way. Some other things happening. We have bowling, state sub-state bowling hosted by Dubuque Wahlert is tomorrow at Cherry Lanes, and that starts at 11 o'clock. Have some middle school games coming up as well. And then we have the community club tournament being held out here at Bellevue Community School District on Saturday and Sunday. So I hope you can make it out to that as well. A lot of youth basketball happening that way, a lot of positive things. Some other things from the board meeting last night, and I'm going to skip back to the weather-related things that way. We talked about adding time to the beginning of the day or end of the day. We may still do that. Some drawbacks of that are the aspect that kids would be getting on the bus earlier than normal if it was beginning of the day. If it's at the end of the day, how does that impact students who work? How does that impact other child care, other programming that goes on after school at other locations? That's been mentioned to me by a few people as well. And there's a difference between spending time and spending quality time. And we want to make sure our time is quality. We set the school day up for a certain amount of hours for a reason. I'm not saying that can't be changed, and maybe it will be in the future regardless, but we also want to make sure that we have a distinct reason why we're doing that, and that's going to be beneficial educationally. Do we believe we can accomplish what needs to be accomplished in less hours than we had scheduled, the 1,150 hours compared to the 1,080 hours that are scheduled? Yes, we believe we can. We have some things to accomplish with that. First, we need to get back to having 1 full week of school. That will be an amazing thing when that happens. Hopefully that will happen next week since it didn't happen this week. But just some things that way that we talked about. We have teacher contract days too that we're working with that. We have some alternatives for them as well of how we can meet those contractual obligations and things like that. So we are working on that, and we believe we can make some changes. Another change with the schedule is we were having conferences originally scheduled for March 13th and 14th. We're moving those to March 12th and 14th. One of the main reasons for that, or the main reason for that, we will have satellite voting for a referendum that we'll talk about in a little bit at Bellevue Elementary during the first day of conferences. So that will be on Monday, March 12th. So there'll be early dismissal on on Tuesday, March 12th, and on Thursday, March 14th. So we will have early dismissal on Tuesday, March 12th, a 3-hour early dismissal, and Thursday, March 14th, a 3-hour early dismissal, just so you're aware of that. Wednesday will be a normal school day, then no school on Friday, March 15th, that way. So just so you're aware of that, and I'll put out some more information on that in the future as well. As we talk about the referendum, there is going to be a referendum vote on April 2nd, and that will be at the community center. We have satellite voting at the elementary on March 12th. But April 2nd, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Satellite voting will be from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. that day. It's a referendum for a $14.5 million referendum for a new elementary school. That is down from the $16 million referendum that was asked for on September 11th of 2018. So making some progress there, just so you're kind of aware of what's going on that way. There will be some community meetings happening. One of those meetings will actually be happening on March 18th. Encourage you to come out to that meeting. It'll be a great time to visit and see what's happening and hear what's happening with the district, and take a tour of the elementary at the same time. So those are a few things that way. Also want to get into a few other things we approved. We had a cheerleading coach resignation. Megan Fisher resigned. We had some open enrollments approved that way. I will put out, we talked a little bit about the 2019-2020 calendar. I appreciate the people who took the survey for the 1920 calendar, along with the makeup day perspectives. Those were very important when the board decided what to do in the future, and will be important as we decide how to go about things in the 1920 school year. I will put this information, in fact, this information is online on the superintendent page under comment highlights. You'll see that information for both those surveys. So we will be talking about that more. Have not sat down and have not sat down and completed an initial draft of a calendar. We work with some other districts on that. We will be doing that in the near future that way. We discussed the audit. Penny Meeninger, our business manager, discussed the audit for fiscal year 18. Came back with no major issues whatsoever. The district is in fine financial standing, and things have been going well with accounting procedures. So I want to credit Penny and Rhonda here in the office of making sure everything's being taken care of, along with the secretary, all the other secretaries, and multiple other people to make sure that we are accounting for things that need to be accounted for. So about capital improvements or projects for the summer of 2019, multitude of things. Some of the main things on the list right now are ceiling tiles and lights in what we would refer to as a middle school hallway. Some other classroom furniture that's more collaborative style for middle school, high school, and or elementary. Some work in the middle school girls' locker room to make it more accessible. We're doing some work in the elementary and middle school restrooms right now. Lights in the parking lot is a major thing that we are working to have accomplished here in the near future as well, to make it more easy to get around at night there, and ultimately more safe for anyone going out there, and more secure. It's just safer if we have lights out there, and we need to do that. So that will be happening sometime this spring or summer that way, so you're aware of that. We will be buying a new school bus. We have some library shelving at the elementary we need to do. Looking at possibly replacing some windows in what we would call the middle school classrooms that way, and some other things like that. But in general, those are the bigger things that we're looking at doing. None of those have been approved. We did approve the purchase of some Promethean boards for the elementary, for those boards at the elementary, where they're interactive whiteboards where students can write on them, teachers can write on them, and they interact with the material that students are learning. A great educational tool, and it's just a replacement of some that we have that are in need of repair right now, or they kind of reached their life expectancy that way. So we're doing a gradual replacement there. We started that last year, actually, with 4 last year that way. So legislative update, looks like it's going to be 2.06%. One of the branches of the legislative session approved that yesterday. Anticipate the other one approving it today or sometime this week. Transportation per pupil equity will have a little bit of impact, a little extra money for us as we look at transporting students, although we never get fully funded for all the students that we transport either. SAVE, or that 1 cent, is still being discussed. It would be nice if that would be approved to 2051. It is right now. It's scheduled to scheduled to end in 2029, which isn't that far away as we look ahead. That's 10 years from now. That way, the board also had some things to read on the formative years of education, and looking at what do our kids need. And if you follow the Facebook page at all, we talk about giving students skills that they can use in life that way. So that's another thing there. And then we also talk about Beyond the Blue. I will have some recommendations based on the committee recommendations for Beyond the Blue coming up at the March board meeting. Shared some updates. Our boys basketball team was defeated by Northeast on Monday night, same time as the board meeting. So their season ended, but we still have some others in action, as I mentioned before. And if it makes you feel any better, boys track season has started. They started up on Monday. So a positive there. That makes you at least think that spring is right around the corner. On that note, I'm going to sign off here, but remember, we do have school on Monday, February 18th. That's the next one that way. Keep that in mind. Check out the Bellevue School District page under district, and you look at superintendent's page for information that way, and a multitude of other things. Have a great day, everyone. Stay warm, and make sure you drive safely. One final thing, I know I said that before, but when we make a decision to cancel school, we try to do that early as we possibly can. Today was a little later. We had really debated what to do today until the final moments. Virtually every school around us had canceled. We had talked about going on time, but looking at the safety of students, we felt it was best to cancel school today. We do hard surface routes sometimes, and that was what the plan was today, but we were concerned about people just getting to those spots from the gravel roads to get to those hard surface route pickup areas that way. So it's never an easy decision, but the number one priority is always to make sure our students are safe. We try to do the best job as possible. If you ever have any questions about that, please feel free to contact me out here at school. That's the best way of doing it, having a conversation, at least on the phone if it's not face-to-face. So have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. We'll see everyone tomorrow, Thursday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, on time. At least that is the plan. I feel confident it will be on time. Have a great one, everyone.